Good afternoon. Like every good faculty member at Murray State, we will start class on time. Well, I'm 37 seconds late, so I do apologize. Before I start my official and formal remarks about the state of the university, I would like to make a few introductions and announcements. First, I would be remiss if I did not say thank you with the deepest of sincerity, gratitude, and love to my wife Cindy for all of her support and efforts and what she does for Murray State University. Thank you very much. In addition, we have two of our regents with us today, Catherine Farmer, the faculty regent, and Phil Schooley, the staff regent. Would you please stand and also be recognized? As we'll talk about in the State of the University address, shared governance is a key component of what we do here at Murray State University. I know that the president and chairperson of the Faculty Senate is in class right now, but will be tuning in on stream, so I do want to thank him. But joining us today from the Staff Congress is John Young. Would you please stand and be recognized? We have outstanding leadership at Murray State University, and I am pleased and enjoy and grateful that I get to work with these outstanding individuals. I would like to introduce several the vice presidents and some other members of the senior team. The acting provost, Renee Duncan, Don Robertson, our vice president of student affairs, vice president of finance and administration, Jackie Dudley, and our vice president of advancement, Adrian King. Would they all stand and be recognized? You are overachievers. Within the President's office, I am kept afloat and on task through the hard work of Jill Hunt and Renee Pfister. Would they please stand and be recognized? I have said it many times in public forums, and I will continue to say it because it's so very true. We have an outstanding cadre of deans who provide exemplary leadership and dedication to Murray State University, who many a times put away their specific college hat and work together on behalf of the entire university and on behalf of our students. Many of the deans are out working today doing great things. Tony Branham, for example, is traveling with students to Lexington, but we do have Stacy Stone, the acting dean of HFA, David Whaley, dean of the College of Education and Human Services, and Steve Cobb from the Jones Science and Engineering and Technology. They all please stand and be recognized. Good afternoon and welcome to the annual State of the University Address. I sincerely appreciate all of you, members of the Murray State family, for taking time to participate in today's forum, either here in historic Rather Hall or online through the streaming. In framing my thoughts for this year's address, I reflected and thought about our current position. I thought about our moment in history and also, of course, our future, both long-term and short-term. In doing so, I think about the efforts that we must undertake to ensure our current status as a leading university, but also, more importantly, what we must do to strengthen our trajectory of success and to continue to be recognized as a national leading comprehensive university. As I think about this time, our time in history, and building upon our successes, I am motivated and inspired by the prolific words, the inspirational leadership, and insights and wisdom of Dr. Ralph Woods, our fourth president of the university. Dr. Woods served Murray State for 23 years, and he witnessed and oversaw the transformation of Murray State. He began his tenure as president of Murray State Teachers College in 1945. He presided during a time in which many institutions, like Murray State, saw rapid growth in enrollment through the mid-40s and late 40s, followed by significant declines in the late 50s. He benefited from enormous investments by the state and by federal governments, and then also the significant withdrawal of that funding. He saw, relatively speaking, an enormous expansion of technology, as well as the racial integration of Murray State. During this time, we transformed from Murray State Teachers College to Murray State College in 1948. and then to Murray State University in 1966. His words to the new faculty in 1954 set the tone for our university during this radical time of change, of immense growth to then also the declines. And when he said, quote, "Aims determine our direction, and aspirations determine how far we may go in that direction. Be assured that lofty aims and high aspirations will be our most significant fortune." In many ways, it was the words of Dr. Woods that guided us last year as we faced, possibly in the history of Murray State University, the most difficult challenge regarding the amount of funds that needed to be redirected or cut in the time frame in which it had to be done and implemented, and the overall impact to our university and community. While this was a difficult and strenuous time, we as a community stood together and worked to overcome this challenge. The leadership team of the university, the vice presidents, the deans, the leadership and involvement of the faculty senate, staff congress, the Student Government Association, department chairs, the Board of Regents, and many others worked diligently to find ways to ensure our fiscal stability. The university community responded with many ideas and suggestions and also offered their enduring support during this time. You, the faculty, and the staff supported one another and our students through this turbulent time of immense change, ambiguity, and anxiety. Because of your support for one another, for your commitment to the university community, we navigated the twists and turns brought on by the fiscal challenges and political maneuverings by focusing on what we do best. We excel at the art of teaching and learning. It was Dean Cobb in one of our discussions that said that, and that has always resonated with me and continues to do so. We are at our best when we are providing a foundation for the dreams, the goals, and aspirations of our students. We are motivated to succeed. We are indeed unstoppable when we are student-focused. It was during this critical time that we did not waver from our goals, our values, and we did not lower our aspirations. We did not alter our goal of being the best student-centered university in America, nor did we shy away from the commitment to the highest quality and standards for our academic programs. We did not forego our commitment to providing exceptional co-curricular activities and support for our students. We faced our challenges and we moved forward with grace and dignity. We exceeded our own high expectations by maintaining rigor, relevance, and excellence as our mantra. Now is the time in most of my speeches where I take time to discuss our accolades, and I could do that here by talking about U.S. News World Report and how for 26 years in a row now we've been ranked as one of the top universities in the South, or the 7th time recognized by the Chronicle of Higher Education as a great college to work for. I could mention any number of research grants, including the $3.8 million National Science Foundation grant to support the research efforts of Drs. White and Hendricks of our Hancock Biological Station, or the research grant to support the work of Dr. Maeve McCarthy and the advanced team to understand the barriers of recruiting and retaining highly qualified female professors in STEM-related fields in rural areas. And I would also make a plug to be sure to ask you to fill out the survey that they will be sending out next fall or next spring semester to help this work. Or I can report on the Hudson School of Agriculture Leadership Council overseeing the packing and delivering of 42,366 boxes of meals for Murray Kids Care for Hunger organization, shattering the previous record and meeting an immense need for our community. Or I could report on how the Department of Accounting was named one of the top accounting departments in the world by Social Science Research Network, or how the Murray State IEEE robot team finished second, outperforming the likes of the University of Kentucky, the University of Louisville, Georgia Tech, Alabama, and did I mention UK and U of L in the Southeast 2016 student robot competition. Speaking of competition, I could mention the success of our student athletes in the numerous OVC championships, but more importantly, I would talk about how they have achieved the 963 academic progress rate, which is among the highest in the OVC conference, or the 18 All-American academic student athletes, or the 201 student athletes who made the Dean's List, and the 83 students who have a perfect 4.0 GPA last year. Yes, I could go on about the amazing work of our music and theater department and the numerous accolades and invitations to perform at national and international concerts and productions, or talk about the production of The Little Shop of Horrors that was performed earlier this year, or the Murray State Chamber Orchestra's inspirational, truly inspirational performance of Omar Thomas's, who is a premier composer and the premiere of his new work, Of Our New Day Begun. Yes, I could recite and exude on all of these accomplishments. But why do that? Why list a laundry list of important, noble accomplishments when I could talk about what matters most to each and every one of us? And that's the inspiration we provide our students. For example, Morgan Owens, a senior psychology major from Louisville, was awarded a Psychology Undergraduate Research Award for the best psychology research project of the year throughout the Commonwealth. Under the guidance of Dr. Maria Brown, she has been researching the correlation between Alzheimer's and bilingualism. Or the story of a student encouraged by Drs. Peter Weber and Robin Esau, a nonprofit leadership studies student, Sabrina Smith, is interning at Murray Callaway County United Way this semester. In talking about the influence of the professors, she said, "The faculty and staff in the nonprofit leadership department is one of the things I love most about Murray State. Every professor I've had in the nonprofit department is dedicated, passionate, kind, and involved beyond belief. Our faculty are indeed incredibly dedicated. Take Sandy Miner in the School of Nursing and Health Professions, for example. At the young age of 81, she continues to mentor students. What drives her to keep going is her passion for working with students and seeing them progress. The program has many talented students, but over the years, Dr. Miner says the ones that I want to work with the most are the ones that are challenged, both economically as well as socially and academically, so I can see them to succeed and see their lives being transformed. I could also and will talk about the students who sing Murray State's praises because of the excellent work of our faculty and staff. Perseverance Sani, an accounting and finance major, said, "Murray State has given me the opportunity to be able to grow and learn as an individual, and also the opportunity to develop leadership skills by serving as a residential advisor in our residential colleges and being proactive in our community. I really enjoyed the community, and I'm assured that Murray State cares about my well-being as an individual and also cares about my future in education." Are the words from Haley Harrison, a public relations major, and the seventh in her family to attend Murray State, seventh generation. Murray is the perfect definition of balance and growth. Murray is a place where everyone is accepted for who they are, while at the same time making the connections that help you grow into the person you want to be. The faculty and staff are extremely helpful and want to see each student succeed. They understand that while, yes, we are ultimately here for school, these college years are where you find your niche, your passions, and where you set your goals for yourself and for your future. So they encourage you to get involved in other organizations in campus and community. Murray State provides ample opportunities for personal growth and professional development, and you never lack of support in Racer Nation. Another example is Vazi Willick, who traveled to and interned in Thailand with the Boston-based Loop Abroad program. A pre-veterinary medicine major within the Hudson School of Agriculture, she gained hands-on veterinary experience at an elephant sanctuary and a dog shelter, talk about big and small, during her trip. The experiential learning opportunity doubled, truly, as a global experience. She said, "The opportunity was incredible. This opportunity meant gaining experience in the field of veterinary medicine, traveling the world to experience a different culture, food, religion, and way of life, and also making friendships and connections that will last a lifetime." A final example is that of graduate student and homecoming queen, Kelsey Bogard, who is studying post-secondary administration student affairs and is gaining incredible hands-on experience working as an intern in the Office of Student Affairs. She's actively involved in student organization and is a Marvin D. Mills Scholarship recipient. Her dream is to work in higher education, to actualize the ethics she has seen in the faculty and staff who have supported her, and to be the agent of change, of positive change, in the future students of generation to come. These are just a few examples of the amazing work of our students that have been propelled by you, our faculty and staff. And it is based on these observations and from these statements from our students that there is no question we have furthered our rich history and reputation of excelling academically as well as being among the best, if not the best, student-centered university in America. When Dr. Wood served Murray State, he built on the rich history and traditions and guided it through many challenges and changes, budgetarily, academically, racially, integration, and all sorts. And it was during these times that Dr. Woods focused in on the history and traditions of Murray State and grew. We too, at this moment in time of our history, are at the apex, at the point of significant change, and we must adapt to the altering landscape and build upon our tradition and excellence. 2 years ago, we adopted a new strategic plan, and this remains our guide to these times of change. It too, as we saw last year, allows us to be flexible in our approach, but remain focused on our high aspirations. Over the past year, we have initiated the plan, and we can and we should celebrate many accomplishments and revel in the momentum that each of you have created. For example, as part of the strategic plan, we made a commitment to higher admission standards for incoming freshmen and transfer students. We did this because we need to be confident that the students we admit will be able to meet the demands academically and otherwise of a rigorous academic environment. The result was an increase, yes, an increase in our freshman class by slightly over 2%. Moreover, we saw a corresponding increase in the ACT scores to an average of nearly 24, the highest in recent years for Murray State. And the percentage of students who are among the top academic leaders from their high schools, either in the top 10%, 25%, have also significantly increased. Our honors college grew significantly too, including 176 new students, its largest class in its history. From the annual freshman profile survey, the number of students needing remedial classes has declined by nearly 10 percentage points. And those needing 2 remedial courses is now less than 7% of our student population, with just over 2% for those students needing 3 or more. We used to have over 35% of our students needing remedial courses. That is no longer the case at Murray State. The result is that our students are better prepared, better engaged, and from all the comments I've received from many, many faculty, the freshman classes are much more invigorating, inviting, and challenging, not only for the students, but also for our professors, and that is a wonderful thing. Our freshman retention rate increased by nearly 3 percentage points to just shy of 74%. Again, a rate that is among the highest of recent history for Murray State. We anticipate with the quality of our new freshman class that we will continue to see increasing freshman rates and achieve our ambitious goal of having at least a retention rate of 78% or more, placing us among the highest tier for public universities. This effort will begin to affect our graduation rates in a very positive manner, which has declined in the last several years due to changing admission standards for larger classes in 4 or 5 years ago. I am confident that we have initiated an upward trend and our trajectory of success will increase over the next several years. All of this would not have been possible if it wasn't the steadfast support and dedication and faith that you all have in Murray State. As part of our strategic plan, we also implemented a new scholarship model and reset our tuition rates. Our scholarship model is one that I describe as aggressive and progressive, and it is essential to our ability to attract high-achieving and highly capable students. The new model has already proven to be very successful as we have been able to recruit a higher number of Tier 1 students than ever before. And because of the fact that our scholarships is tied to a percentage of tuition, this is the progressive part, it is ensuring an affordable and predictable model for our students and their families to plan for their next 4 years on campus. No other university that I know of has such a model, and it's here at Murray State. While speaking of enrollment, even with the increased freshman class, our total enrollment is down approximately 500 students, or just over 4%. This is due to previous declining in freshman class and transfer students over the past several years, following significant larger classes in 2011, in which our freshman class was 1509, in 2012, where it was 1603, and in 2013, where it was 1569. The classes of 14 and 15 were much lower. These classes have graduated, or in many cases, the students have left us because of other reasons, and they have not been replaced by similarly sized freshman classes until this year. Our official enrollment for this year is 10,496. We have welcomed 1,502 new freshmen and 605 new transfer students. We have 8,887 undergraduates and 1,608 graduate students. But it's not the numbers that ultimately matters. What matters is our commitment to each one of these students as a person, as an individual who has entrusted us to help them refine their talents, to provide them with the tools to be successful in their lives, and to find out more about their soul than to merely pass along technical knowledge and expertise. It is about the personal stories, the personal interactions between and among faculty, staff, and students, and that is the heart of Murray State University and what we stand for. We do have a goal, a graduation goal of 58%, but to be honest, to each individual person, our goal to them is 100% graduation rate, because that is what truly matters. That is why when we think about the core value of Murray State, we always talk about our commitment to being student-centered, focusing our attention on the success of our students and making decisions based on what is in their best interest. In our decision-making process, budgetary and otherwise, we put forward as the test of our vision of being the best student-centered university in America, and whether that particular decision will further that case and that cause, or will it detract from those efforts. We continue to navigate the new dimensions of higher education as changes are constantly providing new opportunities for us to excel. These forces are not necessarily new, but they have significantly intensified. Fiscal challenges will persist as state funding will not increase, but we know that our costs will. We need to continue to strengthen our own shared governance process and increase the transparency of our efforts. We also must prepare our students to compete in the ever-changing and quickening pace of the world, where the value one brings is not what they necessarily know, but what they can do with what they know. Regarding the fiscal challenges, our state budget appropriation for the past decade has been in continual decline. Last year, the trajectory of decline of state support was accelerated by the reduction of $2.1 million in state funding. But this was not the only fiscal issue that we faced. We were forced to confront significant changes in our fiscal foundation, including an increase of $1.1 million for pension costs, another $1.3 million for salary and wage increases, a $1.6 million for FLSA changes, and $2.6 million in declining revenues, and also the increases in our insurance premiums, utilities, and other costs. As mentioned, our enrollment is down slightly, and we must and we are addressing this issue. We are in the process of establishing a higher goal of incoming freshmen and transfer students, and we will do so by not diminishing our academic standards. That is not the way to grow our freshman class. In saying that we tend to grow our freshman class, let me be also clear, we do not need to be the biggest. That is not our goal. Our goal is to be the best at what we do. Getting new students is just part of the equation. We must see them to graduation. We are continually evaluating our retention efforts and are in the process of expanding these efforts beyond just from the freshman year to the sophomore year. Our branding and marketing efforts are also essential in our ability to attract new students as we communicate our distinctive qualities and attract the student who will thrive at our university. Also, these efforts assist in retention as it reinforces to the current students why they are here, as well as new opportunities that are being afforded them that they can pursue at Murray State. These efforts also assist in other areas, such as faculty and staff recruitment, fundraising, legislative affairs, and also very important in rankings. Like many state universities, we have relied on state appropriation as one of our two main revenue sources. This model, as stated, continues to provide less funds as a percentage of cost, and I must say, and I know our students will be happy with this, we cannot continue to increase tuition as a feasible way of shoring up our business model. Therefore, we need to engage in new ways to generate revenues. This includes seeking new as well as expanding existing markets for our students. This not only includes aggressively expanding our footprint in our contiguous states, but also seeking more transfer students and creating clearer pathways to Murray State. This initiative was included as part of our strategic plan, and I am pleased to report that we have 133 active articulation agreements with community colleges, surpassing our goal of 130. Similarly, we also must seek ways to recruit adult learners who are not currently in the community college system. This will require us to think about many aspects of our course offerings in terms of location, timing, and modality. We also need to engage in offering new services to area organizations based upon our existing capacity and proficiencies. For example, expanding our certificate offerings and continuing education opportunities. This effort will involve some calculated risks, no question, but we need to fortify an entrepreneurial spirit on activities that are based on our expertise and have the potential to produce revenues. Our campuses throughout the region can be instrumental in this process by identifying opportunities and providing a structure to extend our reach in many areas throughout our 18 counties. In this spirit, I have asked the deans to engage in a dialogue of not only thinking about the opportunities of today, but also to consider the areas of growth, the new emerging programs, and how we will work across traditional organizational lines to create new programs and foster ideas. I have asked them to help me to identify and, importantly, remove barriers of entrepreneurial activities, to help us as a university to become more nimble and flexible. I'm asking you, our faculty, our staff, and our students to think creatively and entrepreneurially as well and offer me your thoughts and ideas. We must be willing to put some resources at risk, and I am formulating a plan to do just that. Therefore, as a point of action, by the end of the semester, I'm asking each of you to provide your dean or vice president or anyone else within your organizational chain any new ideas, suggestions, or plans that you may have that will assist Murray State University on the entrepreneurial scene. We will discuss all of these ideas and select those that show the most promise and provide the space and resources to try them. We have to have some risks. We have to be willing to fail. But at the same time, by doing so, I know that we will find more successful ones than not. We have already done this in some ways by providing strategic planning grants, awarding 18 just this year, totaling nearly $125,000. And this process has proven successful over the last year. So I know we can engage in this and will do so very well. We must discover new approaches and ideas. We are analyzing various opportunities with auxiliary enterprises and partnerships to support our students, as well as enhance our fiscal position. In short, we simply cannot continue our current and past practices. Your thoughts and ideas are more than welcome, and I encourage them. I know, by definition, we have very smart people and creative members of our community who will be able to assist us in this effort. As part of our revenue diversification process and as part of our strategic plan, we are aggressively fundraising and we are preparing for a capital campaign that will focus in on student success, scholarships, increasing our endowments, and sustaining our academic rigor as a foundation of excellence, and importantly, enhancing the student experience. As we prepare for a campaign, I am encouraged by the nearly $6 million raised in private gifts this past fiscal year, a whopping 47% increase from the previous year, and this will definitely help us in propel our efforts. Another fiscal shift upon which we must focus is the adoption of performance-based funding. In short order, our state appropriations, in part or whole, will be allocated based on outcomes and performance levels that are achieved. There is understandably anxiety about the implementation of such a new model, as it represents a significant change, introduces new variables to our planning process, and the metrics that are commonly used to reflect our student success are being discussed. The initial models include, for example, the number of students progressing towards graduation, the number of students ultimately graduating, the number of students completing and graduating from a STEM-H program. There are also metrics based on the success of low-income and underrepresented students. For the forthcoming year, the next fiscal year, at least 5% of our state appropriation will be based on performance funding, a performance funding model, and undoubtedly, this percentage will increase in subsequent years, at least to 25 to 30%, if not to 100%. One can look at performance funding in many ways. You can look at it as a threat, as a challenge, or to be honest, as an opportunity. Our goal has always been student success. Our strategic plan is based on this core value. If we continue to follow our strategic plan, if we continue to do the things that we cherish and do the best in recruiting students who are college ready and capable, who have and students who have demonstrated that they have a persistence required to earn a degree, if we work with our students and retain our students and assist them and show them a pathway towards graduation, we will be successful. As per our strategic plan, we have made adjustments in our admissions process, we have increased retention rates, and we expect them to continue to increase as we focus on graduation rates to achieve our goal of over 58%. Our strategic plan, as noted, is built in and a goal of increasing STEM-H degrees, and we are seeing significant progress. In our strategic plan, we set forward a very ambitious goal, and I am pleased to report that last year we graduated 1,036 students who have earned a STEM-H degree. This is an increase of 25.6% over the previous year. And when we think about Murray State University, we don't necessarily always think about the STEM-H as being a core element of what we do. Out of all the universities and number of graduates per capita, we have the highest STEM-H degrees of all the universities. And at the same time, very clearly, very importantly, the dedication of the deans to further STEM-H, but maintain a robust liberal arts program within the STEM-H and throughout the university is unparalleled. We have done that since 1923, and we will do that in the future. When we think about STEM-H, it is one aspect of this university, and it is furthered so much by the leadership of being committed to the liberal arts. So, thank you, Brian. When I think about these progression metrics, when I think about performance funding, yes, there are elements that give me pause. There are elements that give me concern. We are competitive. We are good. We are darn good. And if we continue to do what we do best, we'll be more than okay. Does that mean we're perfect? No. There are challenges. We do need to work heavily, diligently, specifically in the recruitment, retention, and graduation of students from underrepresented backgrounds as well as those from low income. We must close the gap between these student populations, and that will require us to rethink and invest in pertinent areas where perhaps we have not in the past. We are engaging and leading community organizations. We are working with leading community organizations and foundations to assist us in this recruiting effort. I am talking with many experts about closing the achievement gaps, experts on campus as well as off, to provide structures and to enhance our current efforts to ensure success. Furthermore, and just as importantly, we cannot focus only on student recruitment as diversity efforts. We must attract, recruit, and retain a diverse faculty and staff that reflects the changing demographics of America. We must more fully support the tremendous work of Dr. Crystal Colwell through her collaboration with the Provost Office in implementing the Diversity Development Initiative for Faculty Fellows by being more strategic, by projecting faculty positions in areas for growth instead of being responsive. We must also rethink how we position Murray State in the employment markets and seek to expand our pools of applicants. We must embrace these initiatives with diligence and speed, and we do have a long way to go to fulfill that mission in this arena. To conclude our discussion on finance, we all know that Murray State is clearly a wise investment. In our efforts to prove this to legislators and the public at large, in terms that many can understand, and as also as part of the strategic plan, we set forth an objective to measure our economic impact. Last year, we engaged nationally recognized economist, Dr. Gil Mathis, who just happens to be a Murray State Professor Emeritus, and graduate student Savannah Allen to determine the economic impact of the university on the immediate area, our service region, and the Commonwealth. In short, we impact economically speaking, Callaway County in the amount of nearly $210 million, and this is based on an investment by the county of $8.3 million. Therefore, a net return of $200 million to Callaway County alone on an annual basis. For the 18-county service region, our gross economic impact is over $300 million and is based on an investment from the region of $10.6 million, or a net economic return of nearly $296 million. For the state as a whole, we receive an investment of cash, services, construction funds, etc., of just over $132 million, and we return $495.1 million in economic benefit, or for a net return of over $360 million. Murray State University is an amazing and terrific investment. Aaron Dale from the Chamber of Commerce would also agree of the impact that we have right here in this area, because he sees it every single day as we recruit businesses, as we retain businesses, and we grow the economic impact of this area. As part of our strategic plan, we continue to also strive to strengthen our shared governance, as well as increase the transparency of our decision-making process. I am pleased to report that we have instituted the Budgetary Advisory Committee. This is an important component in our process to increase transparency and further our commitment to shared governance. The Budgetary Advisory Committee is comprised of 2 members each representing the faculty, the staff, and the students, with each being appointed by the Faculty Senate, the Staff Congress, and the Student Government Association, respectively. The Budget Advisory Committee has a charge of gaining knowledge and understanding the complexities of the university budget, providing advice and wisdom to me as we establish our annual budget, and communicating effectively to the bodies they represent. While still in the early stages of its formulation, I have been pleased and impressed by the early discussions and exchanges of ideas that have been provided. As we navigate our challenges and opportunities, we must also remember and reinforce the value of higher education. More and more people purport that the reason for a degree is a job that will magically appear once the diploma is printed and the ink is still drying. While I do agree that there is a correlation between employment, salary levels, and life satisfaction and a college degree, the sole reason for a person to obtain a college degree should not be a job. Rather, it should be to embark on a lifelong journey based on seeking of new opportunities, new horizons, a passion of discovery in which the person will be richly rewarded in many and diverse ways. Yes, those rewards will be employment, will be among those. But how do we measure how so many individuals want to say the success of a college degree is if a person gets a job in one's field? How do you measure a job of someone in one field? If somebody graduates with an art degree, but then goes on and creates a world-renowned computer company defined by an Apple, he did not work in his degree, but is mildly successful. Nor will I mention somebody with a East Asian Studies degree leading a state, but that's beside the point. A college degree is about drawing these connections and honing the skills and talents, and sometimes helping someone discover them as they set forth to achieve the dreams and aspirations. As we think about the future, we need to continually refine and strengthen opportunities in terms of what makes Murray State unique and provides exceptional value. Over 20 years ago, the answer to this question was which drove the creation and the implementation of the residential college system. The residential colleges furthered and expanded upon our commitment to student-centered concepts and enhanced opportunities for creating communities between and among our students with our faculty and staff. Continuing these efforts and furthering our student-centered philosophy and building community, our initiative to provide and have every student in Murray State participate in an experiential learning activity, an internship, a study abroad, a clinical or practicum, a research project, or other active learning opportunity outside the classroom will truly propel us forward. These activities must draw connections between and among the student's major, the core curriculum, and the entirety of the undergraduate experience. This must be intentional and reflective and focused on enhancing the experience, not just another activity that is imposed on them. This will build on our teacher-scholar model and reap significant benefits for our students as well. We know students who participate in experiential learning activities are more likely to graduate, to achieve personal and professional goals, to secure leadership positions, and to be civically involved. As a residential college changed our culture for the better, this commitment to our students, current and future, will do the same. To achieve this goal, we will need to institute organizational structures that will align various offices and units to create seamless integration across the entire university. We also must ensure our curriculum and teaching continues to reinforce that objective of higher education is not merely the first job after graduation, rather livelihood based on the continuous learning, civic engagement, and where one's true value and success is measured not on their title or salary, rather on their positive impact on society. Another important and critical initiative we must embark on to reinforce the civic nature of higher education is the concept of the marketplace of ideas. I position this in the current environment of tension that has permeated the political season. There is an air of mistrust and blame, of laying fault on others. Through this process, hope has been replaced by despair, and truth, fairness, and justice in debate and dialogue is being replaced by the loudest voices in the room. We must take this moment in question and ask, how do we build trust, safety, and security for all members of our community? And I mean all. We cannot tolerate to have university members of our community walk on our campus and be fearful and be ashamed for who they are and what they believe in. And we are facing that today. I believe we must work locally in order to address these tensions and issues and begin the process of healing and creating respect for all members of our community. We must ask ourselves how we are dealing with this at Murray State, within our community, with discussions about race, color, national origin, religion, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, disabilities, political leanings, and any other dimensions on how anyone would identify self. We must do this to create respect and understanding. We must ask ourselves, are we instilling in our students and our peers the skills needed to be culturally aware, to understand the value of diversity and inclusion, to be able to relate to people with different backgrounds, religions, beliefs, thoughts, and value in order to bring people together for a common purpose? Or instead, are we furthering a divide and isolating people within our own community? Are we actively examining our own actions and ensuring that we are not unintentionally distancing others instead of embracing the unique attributes inherent in each member of our community? And do we realize that these characteristics collectively bring richness and boldness to our community? These are the questions and discussions we must engage in. They are not easy. They are not comfortable, but they are necessary. And that is the crux of the marketplace of ideas, and that is what we must embrace. We clearly have a way to go, and I'm committed to taking the steps, small and large, to begin this process of healing and coming together. We must begin now to create a lasting culture that is inviting, that is inclusive of everyone. We must work diligently to create an environment that encourages asking difficult and pertinent questions and that fosters discussion to occur in a civil manner. We must be able to disagree agreeably and base our arguments on fact and reality, not on stereotypes. As a university, as a marketplace of ideas, we must allow each one of us, an opportunity to have their voice heard and understood. And for those that can, they must make sure that those who are fearful will have their voice heard. We need to engage in an intellectual discourse to shed light of inclusion, fairness, social justice, and equity. That is the Murray State way. That is what Dr. Woods put forward in his years of service. We have our challenges, no question. At the same time, these challenges represent immense opportunities for us as a community and as a university to be a dynamic organization that, while holding to our values of student-centered activities, we can transform ourselves as a learning and growing organization does to become stronger, more resilient, and increase our ability to meet new demands of the communities that we serve. We know we live in a very quick and changing world. We know that in order to meet these changes, people and structures must change and adapt. We too need to undertake this work. At the same time, as we embrace this change, we must hold on to our beliefs and structure our new paradigms to reinvest in this core. We are making a difference. We are, person by person, giving life to the values and goals of American public higher education, and that is to transform individuals to enable them to lift communities upward and advance society for the betterment of humanity. Dr. Woods and Murray State faced this same scenario during the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, as Murray State literally transformed itself. It changed as it grew, but it never lost sight of its unique values and mission. The university community did not lower its aspiration in the face of ambiguity, but instead sharpened its focus and aimed higher. And we all benefit from their commitment to those grand aspirations today. This past year tested our ability to remain focused on our goals while overcoming a significant fiscal challenge. Our values remain the same, even though our plans may have changed. We are at a time now where we cannot rest or relax, but we must rather remain diligent in our efforts of becoming the best student-centered university in America. We must and we will keep our aspirations high. As Dr. Wood said, our aims determine our direction, and aspiration determines how far we will go in that direction. Be assured that lofty aims and high aspirations will be our most significant portion. Indeed, our most significant fortune is our aspirations, and we are set on ensuring Murray State remains as a well-known, a well-respected university, one of extreme value and pride. Our goal is not to be the biggest, it is to be the best at what we do, and that is making a difference in the lives, one student at a time. That is our goal, that is our mission, that is our vision. As we achieve that, we do, in fact, change the region, the state, and the nation, all for the better. We cannot, we will not lower our vision or our aims. We are one of the finest universities in America, and I appreciate all that you do, our faculty, our staff, and our students, and our community members, all what you do collectively and individually for our students here at Murray State. That is the greatest gift. Therefore, go forward, be kind, be generous to one another. Enjoy this moment, enjoy this university. It is the finest place we know. Thank you, Godspeed, and go Racers. Thank you. Thank you. As part of our community, I invite you all to attend a reception of punch and cookies, I'm sure. So please join us. And again, thank you ever so much for all that you do for this great university. Thank you. Go Racers.